Hello, and welcome back to the Learning Patch. Today, we are going to be switching to a different dog movie. We did 101 Dalmatians, and now we are going to be talking about Lady and the Tramp. But if you feel like you didn't get enough of 101 Dalmatians, don't worry, because we will be starting to read the book 101 Dalmatians very soon. So to kick things off, we're going to be talking about history in Lady and the Tramp. Lady and the Tramp is set during the turn of the century in the early 1900s. So let's go ahead and check out how history ties in with Lady and the Tramp. So in all of the Lady and the Tramp movies, we see cars like the one you see on the right. These were early types of cars that were made by such people as Henry Ford around the turn of the century. We also see that Lady's house is in the Victorian house style. This was popular during the early 1900s, and you can still see these types of houses today. The inside of Lady's house also has Victorian decorations, as you can tell by what the picture looks like on the right and the one on the left, which is a painting of a Victorian home. In the early 1900s, men wore button-up shoes and bowler hats, like you see Lady's owner Jim Deere wear. You can also see a bowler hat and some button-up shoes in the picture on the left. Lady's other owner, Darling, wears clothes from the early 1900s, just like the lady on the left is wearing. So we can see that Lady and the Tramp takes place in the early 1900s. So now that we see how Lady and the Tramp ties in with history during the turn of the century in America, I have a very special guest who's going to tell us some more about what it was like in the early 1900s during the time when Lady and the Tramp takes place. So let's go ahead and meet my special guest.
The camera's rolling? All right. Well, hello! My name is Tina, and I am a very special sock and a very special guest today. I'm going to be telling you about what it was like during the turn of the century with my time traveling pictures. That's right, I'm a time traveling sock. So, let's go ahead and I will show you about
The Adventures of Tina, the Time Traveling Sock! That's me. The first picture here is me listening to President Teddy Roosevelt give a speech. President Roosevelt was president from 1901 to 1907, which was the turn of the century. He had 6 kids, and they did a lot of crazy things at the White House, like slide down the stairs of the White House on silver platters. You might recognize Teddy's face because it is carved into Mount Rushmore. The teddy bear, which I'm sure you're all familiar with, was actually named after Teddy Roosevelt. The story goes that he refused to shoot a bear, so some toy makers made a bear and called it the teddy bear after him. Teddy Roosevelt was also important in starting the national parks. Here you see me in a picture next to Alexander Graham Bell, who invented the telephone. Not everyone during the early 1900s had a telephone in their home. Those who did had to share a phone line called a party line with a bunch of other people. So you could have a stranger actually listen in to your conversation. Ooh, not cool. Here's a picture of me by Ellis Island. Many immigrants who are people who come from other countries came to Ellis Island during the turn of the century. They had to stop there to get checked in and make sure that they were all healthy and had all their papers that they needed. It was a difficult journey for a lot of people coming to our country of America. But people were determined to come because they wanted freedom or to find work or both. Ellis Island is also home to the Statue of Liberty. Here is a picture of me riding this awesome bicycle from the turn of the century. The turn of the century was all about progress and prosperity. People wanted to better themselves, and one way to do that was with exercise. Bicycle riding was very popular, just like it is today. There were actually two brothers who had a bicycle shop whose names may be familiar to you. They were Orville and Wilbur Wright, the Wright brothers, who invented the airplane. I had a lot of fun traveling to the early 1900s. And I hope that you enjoyed my traveling photos. Have a great rest of your day and keep traveling, but leave the time traveling to me. Well, thank you, Tina, for sharing with us your interesting travels through time, especially your travels at the turn of the century. It was quite fun. Well, that's all for today. Tune in as we will have more about Lady and the Tramp for our Dog Month. And remember, if you want to learn more about the turn of the century, about anything we learned previously with 101 Dalmatians, go to the Learning Patch at thelearningpatch@wordpress.com. I hope you have a great rest of your day and keep learning.